Are we live? We're live. Okay, we're finally live. Where's Oliver? He's right here. So, can you see us? Do we look all hazy?
It looks a little bit weird.
Why does it look weird?
And
What do you think's going on?
I mean,
Say something in the live stream. Say something in the chat if we look hazy. I mean, we look hazy to ourselves right now. Should we close these? What do you want to do? This did not happen
blurry.
last time.
Okay, so people saying it's blurry and hazy.
It's blurry and hazy. Is it something to do with my camera?
If we end this,
Oh, there was something on my camera. Okay. I've got to clean it off some more. Do we have a cleaner? We should have tested this yesterday. We did test it yesterday. I'm so sorry, people. Okay, that's a little bit less hazy. I have no idea what. Obviously, Oliver licked my laptop at some point. That must have been it. And now my laptop camera, webcam. Okay, that's much better. Yeah, I'm just sorry. I'm just using a tissue here to clean it. Okay, very confusing start to our live stream today. We are broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois with Oliver. Hey, Oliver, how do you feel this morning?
he seems to be doing good. He's like, I did not lick that. Beagle did not lick that.
Oh, that is a false accusation.
Oh,
No.
You're very innocent, aren't you?
We're always blaming you for things you didn't do. It's so unfair because you can't talk back and you can't defend yourself, can you?
It's 11 a.m., so Oliver's still a little bit sleepy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's kind of a late starter in the morning. What do you think, Oliver? He's like, this is too early.
Too early for words. Too early for words. So yeah, here we are, everyone. We are broadcasting to you live from quarantine. Yeah, we are sadly in quarantine. So yeah, we caught the virus. We went to a wedding last Saturday. So that's 8 days ago now. And we both got infected. And a lot of people who went to that wedding got infected. It wasn't just us. So here we are.
And luckily, we're both vaxxed and boosted, so it hasn't been too bad. We're feeling much better now. I think Scott's gotten the worst case than me.
A little bit worse, yeah.
I've actually pretty much recovered, and I'm back to testing negative again. But yeah, so far it hasn't been that bad for me. A little bit worse for you.
Yep. And we want to thank you for all of your messages of support over the past couple of days. It really has meant a lot. And of course, we've had Oliver to take care of us too. He's been bringing us lots of toast and chicken noodle soup. He has been eating our toast and chicken noodle soup all week long. He really likes the chicken noodle soup. Okay, so thank you for all your sympathy. We are feeling much better. We feel totally up to doing this live stream, and we are through the worst of it. So I just want to today I want to lay out the structure of the live stream. But before I do that, let's start with a poll. So the first poll we want to ask today is, how old were you when you had your first dog? And the possible answers are, oh, what are you doing? You're scratching yourself? Oh, he's biting his paw. Okay. So were you A, child up to 12 years old, or B, a teenager, or C, an adult 20 plus years old, or D, have you never had a dog but you want one? So go ahead and answer that. And while people are doing the poll, I also want to ask a question, which is, what part of the world are you from? It's always so exciting. This is our third live stream. I love seeing all the different parts of the world people are from. So you say what country or city. We would love to know what region, what state, what part of the world you're in right now. So just write that in the comments, and then Wayne will read some of those out. Oh, you're setting up the poll right now.
Yep. So the poll's a little bit slow, but it's going to come up in just a minute now. But people are responding already, and people said that they've never had a dog before.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
Well, we used to watch a lot. We've said this before. We still do watch a lot of dog videos on YouTube, but especially before we got Oliver, we watched a huge number of Beagle videos on YouTube because it was our only way of really experiencing life with the Beagle vicariously through YouTube videos. So yeah. So let me just talk a little bit about the structure. So we're going to go for about 45 to 60 minutes today. We're going to start by talking about all the great things that have happened since our last live stream in December. Oh, readjusting position here. And then the second part is something that I think Oliver will be very excited about because he's going to open a present. Why not? Just randomly. It's not his birthday yet, but we'll certainly be celebrating his birthday on July 30th. But this is like an early birthday present, I guess. And then we're going to take questions from the live stream. And also we have some questions that you put on the posts, the forum posts earlier this week. And then we're going to end by talking about plans for the summer and what's going to happen in the future with the channel. So all good things, though. Yeah, like I said, 45 to 60 minutes. So,
Okay,
how are the poll results?
So actually, the poll results have changed a lot. We have 189 votes come in now. And as a child is actually by far the vast majority. So 60% said that they first got their dog as a child. And then the rest are all about evenly split, about 12 to 16%. Never had a dog, 16%, which is interesting. So yeah, I think this is fascinating because we actually would not have answered the poll this way because neither you or I actually got our first dog until we were adults.
We wanted a dog. I wanted a dog when I was a child.
Yes, I wanted a golden retriever, of course.
And I wanted a Labrador retriever. But my mom was allergic.
Yes.
So
yes,
yeah.
My parents were skeptical I could take care of a dog.
Oh,
so I had a fish instead.
A fish,
and I had many fish.
Yeah.
And we did eventually get a cat named Nadine. So at least I had a cat growing up too.
That's great.
Yeah, Oliver's our first dog. And people are, in terms of where people are from, once again, a very large range of places. It's always so great to see this out. We've got Malaysia, Ireland.
Wow.
Bangladesh, Scotland, Philippines, and then we have, of course, lots of the usual, lots of places in the U.S. too: Atlanta, Arizona. We have Lisbon, Portugal, Netherlands,
wow.
Virginia, Michigan, Colorado Springs. We've got Ireland. So yeah, once again, another Kentucky. Ooh, that's cool. Well, Oslo, Surrey, UK, so Germany. So yeah, we've got representation from all over the world again.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I know for some of you, this might be the middle of the night, so it's amazing that there's people here from the Philippines right now, and Bangladesh and Malaysia.
Costa Rica. Greece, Japan. Oh, yay, Japan.
Wow. So we want to talk about some amazing things that have happened since our last live stream in December. And the one thing we really want to start with, because we are so happy and so proud to be able to present it to you, is Oliver's new book. So we have our copy of it here. Here it is. Oliver. Yeah, do you like it? He's like, well, I would prefer a book that had treats inside of it, or maybe a scratch and sniff book. But he did seem a little bit interested in the book the first time we read it to him, even though it doesn't have treats. It's called Oliver the Beagle's Magical Night Journey. It has lots of wonderful illustrations. And if you haven't yet purchased it, you can purchase it on Amazon. It's available right now all around the world. So yeah, I don't know. What do you want to say about the book?
I think we want to start talking about like the origins of it, like how we came up with it, because it's interesting. We just came up with it in the moment.
Right. So let me tell that story. Yeah. So we were actually planning to have we wanted an audio bedtime story for the app. So for those of you who don't know, we also have an iOS app for iPhone called Puppy Therapy. And on that app, there's all kinds of meditations, and there's lots of music that you can use to calm your dog or to calm yourself. And we also wanted a bedtime story. So we were lying in bed one night, and I just started telling a story. And that story, actually, I told the whole story, and it actually was this story. I mean, so it just sort of all came at once. I was just like, oh, what would happen if Oliver got lost in the forest? How would he find his way home? And then I was like, well, maybe he would meet this animal and they would get this advice. So the story just all happened all at once, and Wayne really liked it. So I got out of bed and I wrote down the story. And the next day we worked on it a little bit more. And Wayne helped, and we fleshed it out a little bit to make it all perfect. And that's the story we have today. So there were no ghostwriters involved. It was just me and Wayne. And it was literally a bedtime story. Like, this story was invented at bedtime, actually in bed. Wayne, me, and Oliver, I just started telling them a story. And that's what happened. So that is the origin of this story. Where what was making me think about forests? Well, it's a sort of classic fairy tale kind of idea. And I had been reading, because I'm learning a little bit of German, I've been reading some German fairy tales by the Brothers Grimm. And I especially read one called The Town Musicians of Bremen, which is about a group of animals who have to travel through the forest to get their way to Bremen, find their way to Bremen. And yeah, that sort of inspired this story. I had that in the back of my mind while I was thinking about it. So big shout out to all our fans. Unser von Deutschland. So auf Deutschland. So vielen Dank, wenn du hier bist heute. So yeah, so that was the origin of the story. And then Wayne, you want to tell us about what happened next after we wrote the story?
Well, I think illustrations are extremely important, and we immediately got to thinking that although it was an audio story to begin with, we wanted actually a book so that all his fans could enjoy. And it's incredibly important that it looks a lot like Oliver. That was like the main criteria. Unfortunately, that's kind of hard. Like you can't really find an illustrator and audition them in a way. Like so, we looked for illustrators online. We reached out to quite a few of them, and you kind of have to just look at their work and see how they drew dogs in their previous books and see if we like that or not. And we were very lucky that we came across Martina Krapuljo from Bosnia. She's done lots of children's books before, and we really liked her work. And she sent us some initial sketches and just like a lot of how she does Oliver, like this one in particular. She really captured his worried look. I think she just captured Oliver's spirit so well.
She really did.
You'll know that a lot of you know that Oliver, he has these eyebrows that he likes to like just like furrow. Like he just like kind of like has these eyebrows that are always like kind of tilted, and he makes him look a little bit sad and very woe is me. And so she really did a great job capturing all that. And so as soon as we saw the initial sketches, we were like, okay, this is perfect. She did such a great job of it. She's the one. She absolutely understands Oliver. She watched all his videos, in fact,
Yes.
And watched all his videos on YouTube, just like all of you, and carefully looked at the way he behaved and the way he holds himself. And that's how she drew all the illustrations. And in fact, I can show you some of the initial sketches she sent us.
Oh, this is so cool. So
I'll show them to you on my iPad here. So these are some of the initial sketches she sent us.
Wow.
And you can see, as soon as we saw these, we thought that these were great. And yeah, there we go. Like, look at that. That was her first drawing of Oliver, tilting his head the way beagles do. And she got those eyebrows, those worried eyebrows, perfect. So it's just so much fun to see her initial illustrations and to see them come to life in a way that we hadn't expected before. So thank you to Martina for doing such great work for bringing Oliver to life.
Thank you, Martina.
Putting it on paper. So yeah, I think it was really, really great. And it's just a nice little charming little tale that we think will be great for children and adults alike, and for any other fellow Oliver fans.
And read it to your dog. Your dog will love it too, hopefully.
Yes.
Oliver, do you like your story?
We do. We got lots of pictures too from people who sent them, and we're reading to the dog. Also, if you sent your pictures and they didn't make it into the trailer, don't worry. I know there's some that came in this morning. And David, we saw that you sent us some. We will put them in an Instagram post, or we'll add them to some of Oliver's other videos. So don't worry, we'll use all of them at some point.
Thank you so much for sending those pictures from all over the world. It's so awesome seeing that people already are reading Oliver's book. And we can see that the book has been sold now in 11 countries, which is absolutely astounding. And I'm just going to tell you which countries they are, because I think it's interesting. So from order of the most sales to least, the most sales were in the USA, where Oliver's from. And then after that, the UK, and then Germany. So Deutschland is Nummer 3, danke. Fourth is Japan. Thank you so much. We got a viewer submitted photo from Japan a few days ago, which was in our live stream trailer. And number 5 is Canada. Thank you, Canada, representing. This is the land of my birth. And then number 6 is Italy. Thank you, Italy. 7, Poland. 8, France. And we love our French fans. Nous aimons nos fans français. And number 9, the Netherlands. Number 10, Sweden. Number 11, Australia. And we love you all. We love all our fans all around the world. Thank you so much for doing this, for buying this book. So, and if I could put out a quick plea, So those of you who did buy the book, and I know that quite a few of you did, it would be wonderful if you like the book, if you wouldn't mind putting a review of the book on Amazon. That will help other people who aren't necessarily already Oliver the Beagle fans discover the book. So that would mean a lot to us. And we know that Amazon is sadly not available in every country in the world. And so for those of you who haven't been able to buy the book because it's not available in your country, there is an alternative, which is you can listen to it as an audio story. So Wayne, why don't you tell us a little bit about the audio version of the book?
Sure. So if you, again, only if you have an iPhone or iPad, you can, of course, download the Puppy Therapy app, the app that we built. And we have it as an audio story now. You might have to update your app to make sure you hear it. But if you go down here, and I'll just kind of show it, we have a new sleep story one of Oliver Headphones. And it's going to start it. And it'll just start playing. So it's about 11 minutes long. And a lot of the illustrations from the book are actually here. And we actually hired a great actress, Jen Hammond. She actually does a lot of theater, and she's an award-winning actress, to read the story. And she does such a great job of all the voices of all the animals. And the illustrations will change a little bit too throughout the story. So yeah, it's a nice little alternative. And we got some nice soundscapes in there too, the forest and all the sounds of the animals. So it's a nice alternative if you want to just relax and listen in bed. Maybe as a bedtime story for someone who's having trouble sleeping. It's just a nice little calm way to wind down at bedtime. So we are very happy about that. And yeah, and I'll mention too that regarding the app, like it's free to download. It's for the story and for a lot of the Calm My Dog options, other options, meditations, things like that. It does cost $4.99 a month. We also added a new $29.99 annual option for better value. And yeah, we had a great time building it. We built the app ourselves. Like I actually had never written code before until I taught myself how to do it. And so this app that you see is actually not the result of some pro who's like, who we paid lots of money to build. We actually did it ourselves. And so it was great to kind of pour our heart into it. And we put a lot of passion into it to try to make it look nice and work well. So thank you to everyone who did download that and who's enjoying using it.
Yes, we're really proud of this app. So if you have downloaded it and if you've reviewed it on iTunes, on the App Store, on the App Store, not iTunes, we really appreciate that. And we also, it's just been so wonderful working with people like Jen Hammond. She has a very soothing voice, by the way. It's perfect for a bedtime story. And Martina Krapulda, our illustrator. It's one of the really great things about the last year is all the great people we've got to meet as we've been working with lots of professionals who are absolutely amazing at what they do. And they've helped us to build out content for the app and that we can show to you different ways of experiencing Oliver. So thank you so much, everyone. And now let's open Oliver. Hey, Oliver, we got something for you. Are you interested? His ears are moving, but he's like, oh, it's not worth lifting my muzzle until I actually smell something interesting. Oliver, we have a present for you. It's coming. It's over there. You see it? It's on. No, I put it over on the bench. No, over here, on that bench. Okay. Yes, it's this huge silver package, but it seems to be hiding in plain sight. Okay, here it is.
What do you think, Oliver?
Are you excited?
I have a little present for you.
Something on your nose. That's on your nose.
Like to open it?
Do you want to open a present?
Yeah.
What do you think? He's sniffing to see if there's any food inside.
Oh, he's licking it.
He's licking it. He's showing slight interest. He's like, well, it's not food related, but I might give it a go anyways. Oh, he's not even raising himself up to rip it. He's like, well, I'll just do it from this position, save energy. Oliver, this is the most half-hearted ripping. Okay. Well, no, he's getting inside. Okay, he's pulling it out. What is it? What is it, Oliver? Oh.
Need some help? Okay, pull.
Pull? You want to pull
it? Yeah.
Oh, you could do it, Oliver. Okay, a little more ripping. This is very funny. He's just a little bit sleepy. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh my goodness, Oliver. Who is this? This is Gatsby. It's Gatsby from Corgi on Fleek. Goodness. Oliver, what do you think?
You like corgis, Oliver?
Do you like corgis?
Oh,
Yeah?
he's
Okay.
like, oh, it'll be a nice little cuddle toy. But...
Cuddle toy?
okay, there we
he
go.
does like it. Okay. All right. So,
Let's see how long the ears stay on.
yeah. So Gatsby is one of our favorite YouTube dogs too. So big shout out to Gatsby. This is not a cross promotion or anything. We just bought this on our own. So you can buy it if you want. It's available on Vlog Life After College, I guess it's called. Yeah. What do you think, Oliver?
Yes, and we've always wanted to perhaps make a Oliver the Beagle stuffed plush
Oh,
too.
that would be
so
amazing.
We will see.
That
if,
would be amazing. We got to figure out how to do that.
Yes, if we can do one, because I think this is actually quite good.
Yeah, it's really
quite
nice.
It's it looks like Gatsby too.
It does look like
What do you
Gatsby.
think, Oliver? Okay, and then we have
Okay.
another one where
Do we have another present?
We have
Okay,
another
we have a
present.
second present. 2 presents, Oliver. Okay, what do you got?
supposedly it was recommended by Oliver's trainer, and where it's
Oh,
perfect for dogs who like to rip things up.
He's very interested in this one. Oliver, it's like your birthday came early. Oh, actually, Christmas came late because this looks like Christmas wrapping paper.
We ran out of birthday wrap.
We ran out of birthday wrapping paper. It's that time of year.
Oh.
Okay, what is it, Oliver? Yeah, hit your paw on it too. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right. We've got one of these. It looks like it's a terrible. Where, not terrible as in bad, but one of those things dogs can tear apart. So look, Oliver, you can rip all the ears off apparently.
And they get
put it back
reattached?
And it can reattach. What do
Oh.
you think? Would you like to try it?
He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, I'm gonna rip the whole body, not just the ear. The ear's too easy.
Yeah, you gotta bite the ear, Oliver.
No, he's sort of going for the crevice between the ear and the body. Well, Oliver always figures out his own way to play with his toys. He doesn't always do the prescribed, required maneuvers.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Pull.
He's licking. Is there something hidden in there?
There is.
Did you put a treat in
There
there?
is a little treat hidden there.
That makes a lot more sense now. Okay, there's a treat hidden in there.
Oh, you can get it.
Is he
No,
giving up?
Oliver, you're not.
Where are you going, Oliver?
See, look, look.
There's actually a treat in there. You've got to keep
Oliver.
trying.
Oh.
Is there a treat in
So
there
you
too?
pull this. Look, it comes off like that.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. We got an arm off. And
He's
you can
very interested.
access the treats inside.
Oh, he's just going to destroy it to get the treats out. Okay. Is it buried too deep for him to get it?
Oh, he's just like sticking his nose in there now.
I
I think it's not too deep, so he can get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many treats are in there?
Oh, look, you got it already. Look, there's no more. Okay, he got it already. And then Oliver, there's another one over here.
There's a
You want to
treat.
work on that?
There's a treat in this one too.
It's
Oliver.
in this here. Yeah, you can work on that, Oliver.
I think it's in here.
Yep, it's in there.
Oliver,
No, Oliver, there's one more over here.
grab it. Grab it. Okay. Well, I will tear this off for you. There we go.
I'm sure he'll figure it out.
There we
He'll
go.
start.
Okay, so it's in there.
Oh,
my
there's
goodness.
some reverse spacing.
Actually, he already ate it. That's why
Oh,
he's
okay.
lost interest.
All right.
He managed to get it a long time ago. He's like, I figured that out a
Why did
long
you do
time
that?
ago. I'm very clever when it comes to treats. Okay, so now he's in treat mode. So he's going to go look through, make sure that there's no other treats that we hit somewhere else.
Oliver, come back here.
Okay, so we've lost Oliver. He's now doing a sniff and seek all around the room. Okay, he's back now. Oliver, you gonna stick around for a while? So yeah, these are your new toys.
Maybe he wants to tear
Tear up the paper.
wrapping paper.
So yeah, so we're still looking at back in the last 6 months. So one really awesome thing that happened is the book, but in the past 6 months, we've done some other cool things too, like meeting Oliver's brother. So what were your impressions of Oliver's brother, and what was the emotional experience like for you?
Yes. Oliver, you have to stay. We're talking about your brother. Yeah, I'm glad to talk about this because we obviously did the video with Oliver met his brother, and we want to give you a more like unofficial discussion of how what it was like meeting his brother. So It was very emotional because, as a lot of you know, we actually played a lot with Oliver's brother when they were puppies. We met both of them. We spent about an hour playing with other Oliver, Oliver's brother.
Because of course, Oliver's brother is also named Oliver.
Right.
In case you didn't know that already, it's pretty amazing.
And it's so remarkable how a lot doesn't change actually. Like when we met Oliver's other brother as a puppy when he was 10 weeks old, he was so energetic too. Like whereas I think our Oliver was a little bit more cautious, and whereas the other Oliver was bounding up to us and like wagging his tail furiously. Like he seemed a little bit more like personable in a way, like very like he wants to meet everyone and loves everything and very exuberant. Whereas
Like
our Oliver was
gregarious, I guess.
yes, gregarious. And we kind of saw that in other Oliver from Milwaukee too. At the dog park in the video, you may not have seen it, but like he would just sometimes randomly just like take off and like just like run away while we were meeting him, and then he would just disappear in the distance, and then he would come back maybe 5 minutes later. Whereas our Oliver seemed like he was still kind of like hanging out with us, like he didn't want to like go too far. Of course, if there was a rabbit, our Oliver would of course chase it and take off too. But I think his brother really loves life and loves other dogs, and just go taking off and run as fast as he can. So that was really fun to watch. So that's very similar. So I think their personalities actually have remained pretty similar in a way. And the other thing I guess is like that I thought was interesting was the coloring and the physical changes that they've gotten. So Oliver was actually bigger than his brother, even as a puppy, and that's still the case. If you look in the video, they're clearly quite different in terms of size. Not hugely different, but Oliver's definitely bigger. A lot of the coloring actually remained the same, which is interesting. So if for our Oliver, you'll notice that he has this white kind of like waterfall marking here. He has this blaze here, and then he has this white little dot there, the white drop of paint, as we like to call it. And his brother has more white around his neck, and then he has a little hook, white hook on his back. And that has remained completely the same. So it's very instantly recognizable, even all these years later, even though he's a grown-up beagle now. So a lot of the colorings have remained exactly the same. And I think a lot of the sounds that Milwaukee Oliver made are exactly like our Oliver. That was most
amazing.
Uncanny part of it. If you watch in the video, the Milwaukee Oliver makes this whine. He's like, can go now, and he sounds like, and if you hadn't told me that was our Oliver, like, I would have insisted that it was our Oliver making that whine. Like they have the exact same vocal cords, it seems like, the exact same whines. And even better, Milwaukee Oliver's dad was also like, yeah, our Oliver also whines a lot, like a lot. And I think our Oliver whines a lot too.
Yeah.
He makes
They're very expressive.
Very expressive. And then Milwaukee Oliver also makes a high-pitched squeak too. The one in our video that like I can't even make that sound that when Oliver yawns, his brother does that too. So it's exactly the same. So it's very emotional seeing it because a lot of things are still very similar, and they clearly are brothers. His brother is very sweet, and we loved seeing him again. Just classic beagle, extremely sweet, extremely beautiful, just a beautiful soul. Very gentle.
Very gentle.
And so it was, they clearly are related, and it was good. I don't think Oliver really remembered his brother, to be honest. If you look at the video, they kind of touch noses, and then they kind of like, okay, and then they kind of do their separate things. But I think Oliver enjoyed hanging out with his brother. Or definitely. Who knows? Maybe they're just like adults, just like me and my brother. We're just like, I see you. Yeah, we're chill now. Yeah, and there's no real hugs and backslapping, anything like that going on. So it could have just been that too.
So that was definitely one of our highlights this spring. It was a wonderful emotional experience meeting Oliver's brother and watching them interact for the first time since they were puppies. And they got along really well. They really enjoyed each other's company. And we're really hoping to be able to do another reunion with the other Oliver, Milwaukee Oliver, in the fall.
And thank you, Archie.
Yes, thank you to Archie, Oliver's dad,
and
for
his
driving
daughter
down so that we could meet together. It was so much fun.
And some people have asked about Oliver's other siblings. I believe he had 3 other siblings. I think a sister, at least one sister at least. We actually never met them ever, so we don't know what they look like. We don't know what their we wouldn't be able to recognize them. So it's really Milwaukee Oliver that we had this.
It was really special
experience with.
to see them.
So maybe, but who knows? Maybe we'll get to meet them in the future. And
feel free, if you're watching, if you know one of Oliver's siblings, reach out. We would love to do more reunion videos. So yeah, and the other stuff we've been doing over the past 6 months. Well, one thing we've been doing is working on new features for the app. Is there anything you want to say about the app to update people, Wayne?
Oh yeah, so we have the sleep story now. That's new.
Yeah.
And we've added a new meditation. We're going to add more. We were just inspired by how Oliver makes us feel. So we feel like we could learn a lot from his zest for life and his perspective on life. And so we're going to add more meditations that kind of are inspired by that. So not just any old meditations, but one that are inspired by dogs. And we've also added some new Calm My Dog features too. So definitely check it out if you haven't. And also people have been submitting their dogs too. So you can submit your dog's photo and I've been adding them. It takes me a few days to add them, but I try to add all of them. And yeah, everyone loves sharing them and kind of seeing the.
And we love seeing photos of your dogs. So please keep submitting them. That's really special, seeing the different parts of the world you're all from and what dogs you have. And yeah, being able to make that connection is really meaningful to us too. So I do have a question from an Oliver fan. Kathy Offley was asking whether we have any updates on when the app will be available on Android.
Yes, great question. I know there's a lot of people who are waiting for that, who would love the Android version. A lot of you use Android. I don't have any updates at this particular point. It's something that we would absolutely love to do. We'd like to do it. We will have to hire someone to do that. So require a considerable investment in resources to do that. So what we're still planning is like to try to make sure we're making sure we've nailed it on iOS, nailed the feature sets that people are responding well to it, and like the sleep story, the Calm My Dog playlist, like just to make sure that which ones people really, really like. And then once we know that for sure, then we will go ahead and if it's worth it, we'll do the Android version. So yeah, still something we would love to do, absolutely. But
great.
That's what we got to right now. Oh, he just ripped off another one.
Oh my goodness, Oliver, you like this toy? So Oliver really, I guess you can't destroy Gatsby as easily. He likes the toy that he can destroy, predictably enough.
The fun part is you can reattach the.
Oh no, he's back to Gatsby. Well, please don't actually destroy Gatsby. I was just kidding about that. You can chew Gatsby's ears, and he is chewing Gatsby's ears. He's like, do the ears come off on this one too? Okay, so in a minute, we're gonna go to some more questions from Oliver's fans. First, we want to do a poll. So we were just talking a little bit about the sounds that both Olivers, he and his brother make. And we were just curious, what is your favorite Oliver sound? So if you've seen Oliver videos, you know the many different, there's a whole panoply of sounds that Oliver makes. Symphonic noises from whines to barks to growls to yawns. So we're just gonna ask you to choose one of 4 sounds. And I know that's pretty hard to do, but is your favorite sound his squeaky yawn, or B, his whine, or C, his bark? And I specifically mean the bell-like bark that he makes when he's calling out for help. That sort of peal sound, that P-E-A-L, peal sound, like a pealing bell that a beagle makes. And then 4th, the deep sigh that he makes sometimes when he's sleeping. So
okay,
go ahead and vote.
Poll should now.
And while you are voting on your poll, I want to give a big shout out to our moderators. Thank you so much, as always, to our moderators. We really appreciate the time you take to come and help with the live stream. So big shout out to Kim Shan, Turbo Waitress, Casey and Dallas the Beagle, Max England, and Relentless. Thank you so much to our moderators. So now, as the poll is coming in, we're going to move to taking some questions. So first of all, I just want to lay out the usual ground rules, which is that we'll be steering clear of topics that would reveal Oliver's exact location or our occupations, so that we can preserve his privacy. And also, I just want to mention, I know we already addressed a lot of questions in our first 2 live streams. So if you're interested in hearing the story of how we first got Oliver, or why we chose the name Oliver for him, or whether we're ever going to get a brother or sister for Oliver, those are really popular questions, and we did answer them in December. So you can always go back and look at the recordings of the first and second live stream. we covered those questions really thoroughly. So is the poll result back yet?
Yeah, so we have, what do you, let's poll you. What do you think was the most popular option?
Well, I'm going to guess the squeaky yawn.
Yes, 51% by far. So everyone loves
the
the squeaky yawn.
It's the classic Oliver sound. It's the start of every video. But I have to say, for me, the deep sigh when he's sleeping has a really special place in my heart, especially when he's cuddling next to you and he breathes a few times and then he does that deep sigh of contentment. And you're like, oh, everything is all right with the world now. And I'm okay and he's okay. And we're in this perfect little universe of contentment. So that's a really wonderful feeling to experience. Yes. But of course, when he wakes up and makes the squeaky yawn, that is also super thrilling.
And then maybe a little bit less nice when then he emits his bell-like bark when he's demanding his breakfast.
We know that bark.
Yeah, that was the least popular option by far. Only 8% liked his bell-like bark.
Oh, Oliver. But you have to have that bark to let us know what you want. And you definitely do let us know what you want. Did you already rip something?
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness.
I think he's destroyed Gatsby's nose.
Oh, for Gatsby's nose. Look at this. Oh, Gatsby, I'm so sorry. Was there a... Yes, this is your nose, Gatsby. We're going to put it back on somehow. Where'd it go? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, you could have Gatsby back. Well, that didn't take very long. I guess we got him in the mood for ripping things apart with this toy. We should have realized that this toy would be next. Okay, Gatsby, we love you. And since we're on the theme of Oliver's sounds and his sleeping sounds and things, Patrick Sheridan had a question. Does Oliver dream when he sleeps? What do you think?
Absolutely. It seems like he has, I don't know if he has nightmares when he sleeps or if he's joyful, but there's lots of yipping and barking. And a lot of his legs are moving, twitching too. So I think he's hunting for rabbits in his dreams.
Something's definitely happening.
Or I hope he's not being chased by anything, though.
Yeah, it usually sounds happy.
Yeah.
If he didn't sound happy, I think I might try to wake him up. But he usually sounds happy when he's making those yipping noises.
Yes, and a lot of you have mentioned in your comments too that your own dog also and your own beagle also makes those yipping sounds.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So yes, absolutely.
And I have another great question. I love this question. Bonnie Mitchell asked, does Oliver try to get extra treats by giving you the big dog eyes and following you from room to room? Because my beagle did that. That's a great question. What do you think of that one?
Also, absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. We were just talking about a day or two ago. We were calling it Oliver's woe is me routine. We had given him all of his food. He had gotten all of his food for dinner. And at dinner time, he gets rotisserie chicken mixed with his kibble, which is Science Diet, right?
He has a sensitive stomach.
Science Diet sensitive stomach kibble.
His vets put him on.
And we put a little water in too, because he likes having that moist. And then he gets 2 rounds of Sniff and Seek with 2 different treats. We usually use Trader Joe's treats because we like those. And then at the end, he gets his own piece of chicken jerky. And that is what he gets to eat for dinner. And then after all this, he had gotten all of his usual food. He was looking so woeful. He was looking woefully. He was sitting right next to where all the treats are kept. And he was looking up at it very woefully, like he had not had any food at all. And then he went down on all fours, and then he rested his head on his paws, and he looked up with his eyes and gave us this woeful look. And I swear, if we had left and some strangers had come to visit, they would have just assumed that he had never been fed anything in his entire life, and no one had ever been kind to him in his entire life, because the way he was just expressing this feeling of, I'm just completely bereft that dinner time is over. How could dinner time be over so soon? So yeah, he definitely gives us those looks.
He loves to play off each other too. He'll insist to you that I never fed him.
Yes.
And then
so I have to ask, did he get his jerky? Yeah. It seems like he didn't get his jerky. And then Wayne's like, I'm pretty sure he got his jerky. But sometimes we're like not entirely sure because you don't always remember. And he plays off that uncertainty. So he's like, are you really sure that I got my jerky? And then we're like, well, we'll have to give him another piece just in case we actually forgot. You are so good at playing us, Oliver. Yes, you are. Oh, you're giving me that look again. My goodness, it's not even lunchtime yet.
Oh,
He's like, it's always time for toast. That's what he's thinking. You can have toast at any time of day. It's true. We actually do eat toast at random times of day. We sometimes have toast at like 11 a.m. Sometimes we have it at 11 p.m. Okay. So yeah, it is always very special to make eye contact with Oliver. He communicates so much with his eyes. So yeah, do we have any questions from the chat that we want to take?
Yes. So what are Oliver's bad habits?
Oh my goodness.
That's a great question.
Oliver, sometimes you do destroy your toys. Now,
No.
it's not always clear why he's destroying certain toys and not others. There are some toys like the flying cow. I don't know where the flying cow is right now, that has survived for years and never got destroyed. But we are now onto a second Bolt, because Bolt didn't survive. He survived for a few months, but then he got destroyed. And as you saw, Gatsby has already lost his nose. He's not looking quite as perky now. We'll find that nose again. I don't know where it went and try to put it back on. Can you think of any other bad habits?
Oh, I mean, quite a few. I mean, there's he's a beagle, so he has lots of mischief. I think he's still like, I don't know if this is a beagle trait. He still occasionally has accidents inside the house too, like not very often. But
is it really an accident though? That's the question. Occasionally, it feels deliberate.
Yes, it's like maybe once every 6 months, and usually we can trace it back to like maybe he's upset about something too.
Like once, I think I told this in the last live stream. Once I stayed up really late working, really much like 2 hours later than normal, and I don't think it's a coincidence that he peed right in front of me on the carpet upstairs in my study. So I guess he was sending me a message. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking at you too.
Yeah, he was looking at me. He was doing it right in front of me.
Yeah, I think there's sometimes times when he's not quite happy about something. He'll pee inside.
Revenge peeing.
Right. He does. I wouldn't say it's a bad habit. It's just his instinct. He does run off if you're not very careful to chase rabbits.
Yeah, he does like to chase.
So
rabbits.
you have to hold on to his leash very, very carefully. Like not even loosely. Like he will just, if he sees a rabbit, he'll just take off, and you won't have a time to like grab his leash really well.
Yeah.
So I like with all beagles, you have to be very careful. He has to be in a fenced area. Yeah, and I think he's pretty demanding of his food when he's barking.
He makes it very clear when it's time for us to eat. Yep.
Yeah, very, very demanding about that. But yeah, sometimes he's just very sweet too, like he is now. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say he is mostly sweet. I just want to say that. He's mostly like this. Actually, this is very typical Oliver. He wants to be next to you too. So if I'm working at the table, he'll want to be lying on my feet. If I'm working over here on the sofa, he'll want to lie next to me. Sometimes he's upstairs. When Wayne's at his computer upstairs, he's lying on the sofa next to Wayne. So he does like following us around the house. And we always have Oliver as our little companion. Yes, we do.
And someone just asked about the green toy because they liked how the arms come off and then you can reattach them. This is I actually got this from a local store that an Oliver's trainer actually kind of handpicked her favorites and told us about this. So I don't actually know. I'm sure you can get it online. I haven't looked, but it's called Terribles, and it says detachable limbs. So you can search it. I'll kind of show you. We can put a description later. We'll post it later. So it's called Terribles, and yeah, it says the toy your dog can tear apart over and over again. So great for those who are destroyers, like Oliver is.
Awesome. And we have a question from one of our moderators, Carrie, it was Casey Dallas. What is Oliver's best trick that he does? What do you think? We haven't actually, training was something we were really into when Oliver was like a puppy and 1 year old, and we did a lot of training. What happened to all that? Why did we stop doing tricks? I don't know. I guess we're just sort of used to the tricks he could do. I haven't made him do a rollover in at least a year.
Yeah. He doesn't really like
doing a rollover.
Yeah. He's very good at his bows, I think, are quite nice. A lot of people are amazed with his leave-its because he's a beagle, and if you put like this huge piece of chicken right in front of him on the ground and say leave it, and the fact that he just looks at you and leaves
it's so precious. He is so obedient. He will leave it.
It's amazing. I think we did try a class where it was kind of like watch as I do, where you can actually train your dog to mimic what you're doing. So like if I turn around like this, Oliver's supposed to watch you, and then he'll also turn around. And then you can progress to things like, you jump up and then he'll jump up too. I wouldn't say that Oliver really quite got the hang of it, but it's probably because we didn't do enough of it. He did start to learn it though. I mean, I think he just doesn't like being told what to do. So, so he definitely got the 4 or 5. He would follow me where I did 4 or 5 things. But if I did more advanced stuff like going to just sit on the sofa and seeing if he would go sit on the sofa, he didn't really want to do that. But if your dog is very into tricks and training like that, you can do a lot of really cool stuff. So you can teach your dog to turn on the light switch, hit the light switch. So you just go and do that, and then your dog will follow you and do that too. So I think I will still pick it up and try to get Oliver to maybe do that in the future too. But it was definitely a little bit tough with him. He was very distracted in doing that too. He wasn't really into that, I think. Because he has to expend lots of energy to get his treats to do that.
Now, he does love doing the tricks in order to get a treat. And now that I'm thinking about it, one trick, I guess it's a trick that we do every day. It's not me asking him to do it, though. It's maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I sort of regret this a bit. But a year or 2 ago, I just for fun, he was putting his paw on my leg, and I started giving him a bit of an apple that I was eating. Whenever he put his paw on my leg, he caught on very quickly to that. Yes. So he learned very quickly that putting his paw on my leg meant that he gets something. And now every time I eat an apple, and I usually have an apple every day, he will be sitting next to me with his paw repeatedly being put on my leg. And I tried to make him keep his paw. I prefer when he sort of gently lays it on my leg and then keeps it there for a second or two instead of just pushing, like I'm some kind of machine. So I'll give him a bigger piece if he does it gently and leaves his paw longer. But even after that, the next one time he'll just do this again because he's like, okay, this is great. You're a machine now. You're an apple delivering machine. Let's keep this going. Let's keep this conveyor belt going. So yeah, he caught on maybe a little bit too good to that particular trick, and now he's never going to unlearn it, which is fine. It's fun feeding him little bits of apple, and it's good for him, right, Oliver? Oh, he's sleeping now. Oh, yes, he's tired out.
Someone asked, this is a great question. What happened to Willie?
Oh, we miss Willie so much. Where did Willie move to?
I think he moved to the suburbs.
It was past Wheaton, I think, somewhere out to the southwest suburbs.
Yeah.
Willie, if you're watching, or if Matt, Willie's dad, is watching, please, we could drive out there. We'd be happy to drive out there. We don't want to seem too desperate, but yeah, we could. It's not that far. We could come visit whenever. So yeah, we would love to see Willie again. But
yeah, unfortunately,
people move in and out of our neighborhood pretty often.
So Oliver's some of his friends keep on rotating.
Yeah, we got new friends though.
Yeah, and that leads to a great question, which is: has Oliver ever expressed any romantic feelings towards a lady?
Oh my goodness, I don't actually know the answer to that. Do you know the answer to that? Is there a doodle, a golden doodle that he particularly likes? What kind of dogs do you think that Oliver especially likes?
Yeah,
it's a hard question.
We've actually
he's made friends at the dog park for sure.
Yeah, we've seen him in dog parks, and we can actually, I think we would say that for fellow beagles and hounds, he kind of has a pretty average relationship with them. Nothing too overtly playful, or he doesn't small them either.
Right.
But what we hear a lot from people who've taken care of Oliver and taken him to the dog park, for instance, is that he seems to really like his small female doodles. So yes, I think
Oliver?
He does seem to have a lot of girl dog friends that he likes to play with, and especially seems to like to play with the smaller ones too. So small doodles is what we heard.
So smaller than him, or roughly the same size? Or we don't know.
I think like roughly same size.
roughly the same size.
Yeah. So maybe he really likes their fur.
Oh, the curly fur.
Yeah. So those are definitely some of his closest friends. But yeah, he seems to like he gets along with every dog though.
That's great.
Okay, and some people have asked again, like about his birthday, how old he is. He is going to be 6 this July.
Yes, July 30th. He's turning 6, and that leads to another question actually that I have, which is there anything that Oliver was leery about when he was a puppy, but that he enjoys now that he's a grown-up dog? We really should think through our answers to these questions. Is there anything that he was afraid of when he was a puppy?
He's afraid of going down the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Now he just tears up and down them. He doesn't even he just kind of slides down them. He doesn't even actually physically run down. He
That's
just
so
kind
true.
of throws himself down the stairs now. So
I think he used to be more afraid of thunder and lightning than he is now.
So not afraid of it anymore.
Right. Vacuum cleaners he still doesn't like, but I feel like his reaction, he was very intensely opposed to vacuum cleaners when he was a puppy, and now he'll be not happy that they're there, but he'll tolerate them.
Right. Yeah, I think he's just a little bit more sensitized to noises now, and that's a natural thing. Like over the course of years, they'll get used to it. So he seems like I don't think he likes fireworks still, but it only happens twice a year, so he doesn't get used to it.
Yeah. He was a little bit, maybe when he was a puppy, a little bit uncertain about children.
Oh yes,
because children, I think to him, they're a different size, but they're also humans, and they can sometimes move in very unpredictable and jerky ways with their arms and legs. And this is actually something that's always been true about Oliver, is that he doesn't particularly like being touched at the top of his head. Sorry to do this to you, Oliver. Yeah, I know you don't like that. I'm so sorry. He prefers to be touched here. And it's just very natural, I think, for people who are first meeting Oliver to want to touch him there. And he doesn't, especially when it's a child who's sort of moving around in a sort of what looks to him like a less well-disciplined and controlled way. And they are also trying to touch him in the place where he doesn't like being touched. He has tended to shy away from children when he was a puppy. But I feel like recently he's been getting over that.
Yeah, I think he's getting used to it.
Yeah.
I think like with a lot of beagles, I think beagles, of course, their personalities are different, but I think in general, beagles are known to be a little bit wary of strangers at first. And then eventually you'll be great friends with them. You can win them over. But at first, beagles are a little bit shy, and we definitely see that with Oliver. Like Oliver doesn't just come running up to anyone randomly, and like some dogs do. He definitely is a little bit more like, I'm gonna keep my distance for now, wait and see, check you out first, see if you give me a treat. And you kind of have to like work at that a little bit.
That's kind of like an expression of Oliver's fundamental personality, I think, is that he's a dog that does hold back a little bit sometimes, but is also very clear on what he wants and is very deliberate, actually. And when he wants something, he will let you know. And when he doesn't want something, he'll also let you know. He makes very thoughtful choices, and you can see him actually. You can experience life with him as he's making choices. That's always one of the fun things about Oliver, is trying to figure out what he's thinking, and sometimes he makes it very clear what he's thinking.
And I think someone asked about someone was asking about the products that he's using, like teeth brushing.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's Strawberry Cats. Strawberry Cat NZ.
Yes. Actually, I could show some of I'll go get
why don't you get some products?
His toothpaste.
And while you go get those products, I will take another question, which is from Julie Barnard, which is, how did Oliver adapt to being back home in Chicago? Did he take to it right away? There was a lot of adjustments from California. I think Oliver's been pretty happy here. And of course, we got to experience snow again this winter. And you'll have seen the video where Oliver, arrives home with us back at our townhouse last September when we got back from California. And he really obviously remembered. I mean, it was very clear that he remembered that this is where he grew up. And he remembered all his old roots. So it's like he knew exactly where the ice cream parlor was, and he would drag us there. So it's not like he had forgotten about Chicago. So what products do we have?
Okay, so not sponsored. These are personally ones we evaluated ourselves and we tested on Oliver, where we try to see which ones he likes the best or works the best with beagles. We should post this at some point
Yeah, we
on
should.
our website or something like that. So for
Like-
baths, so Oliver doesn't really have baths too often, but we do have to wash his paws when he gets muddy. After he met his brother, that last video,
he was so
very muddy.
The
we
mud
got to
pit.
come back for a bath. So there's lots of shampoos out there, of course. You can go to PetSmart or Petco and find a bunch. We looked for one. We tried a bunch. We think the one that I think works best with beagles because it just smells. The smell of it seems to just be more compatible with the beagle smell. Like beagles have this very distinct doggy smell. I personally like the smell. I think it's like it's a nice. It reminds us of Oliver. It's Oliver's smell. I don't think it's like a bad smell, I think. But I think this Tropic Clean, I'll hold it up. It's like a Tropic Clean papaya coconut shampoo. Seems like it just, after his bath, it just seems like it works well with him. Like it just smells nice and it's not clashing with his usual scents too. I think we've tried some oatmeal and other shampoos that also work well, but it just, I just think the smell just didn't kind of clashed a little bit with him. And his fur is nice and soft after using this too. So again, lots of shampoos will work, but that's the one that I think just seems to work best with him. And brushing,
He doesn't really like.
He doesn't like having his teeth brushed at all, even after years of doing it. But it is recommended by our vets. So you can find these again also at PetSmart and Petco or your local pet store. And we use one that's a vanilla mint flavor, and you can get these in chicken flavor as well. So this one's vanilla mint. We tried the chicken flavor one. Oliver didn't really seem to like it anymore. So I also think the chicken flavor one I personally think it's a little bit smelly too. It doesn't really improve his breath.
Yeah.
So the vanilla mint I think is a nice kind of compromise. It smells clean and he seems like he doesn't really react too much to it. He's kind of like, okay, fine. You can brush my teeth for 3 seconds, 5 seconds at most. And then you get a little toothbrush also that comes with that.
Right.
So yeah, he obviously uses a lot of things, but I think those are two where I was like, okay, we're just going to keep on using these because he seems like he likes them.
He seems like he might be a little bit anxious right now that we were about to brush his teeth, but we're not, Oliver. It's not that time of day yet. You haven't. No, maybe after you have your toast. You'll get some toast, then you have to have your teeth brushed. How does that sound?
He's like a little more awake now.
Yeah, a little more awake. Maybe we'll take one more question from the chat. I can see we're coming up to the hour now. We got to talk about our future plans too.
Yeah. Oh, someone's asked, do you clip his nails yourself or do you have someone else do them for you?
Oh my goodness. We tried once. That was not a good experience when we tried to have someone else clip his nails. He did not enjoy that.
Yeah. So we do it ourselves.
We always do it ourselves.
We have to give him a treat and give him something like a busy treat that takes a few seconds for him to eat. And he's kind of concentrating on that. And then he kind of go and just clip his nails quickly.
Basically, he doesn't like having anything done to him. He doesn't like it when we brush him. We don't actually brush him that often. He doesn't like it. He doesn't need too much brushing. He doesn't like it when we clip his nails. He doesn't like it when we brush his teeth.
And I'm not sure if that's a beagle thing too. And please comment if your beagle is your beagle very cooperative when you try to brush their teeth, clip their nails, anything, or they also don't like being touched.
Right.
Don't like baths either. Great.
One last question. Are we done?
I think we
got to talk about our future plans.
Yeah, and I guess we'll read through all the comments anyways and questions.
Oh, we'll definitely read through your questions. We always love later going through the chat. So everything that you put in the chat, we will eventually read, I promise. So yeah, we're up to this is now an hour into the live stream, so we're gonna have to sadly say goodbye soon, and Oliver is gonna have some lunch. But before we go, we wanted to update you on our plans for the next few months. So what do we have planned for this summer, Wayne?
Well, we have his birthday.
His birthday on July 30th. So you can look forward to a birthday video. We have lots of great ideas for that video.
Yeah. And we'll have, of course, a new set of presents for him. And then we are going back to see our families again.
After his birthday.
So you can look forward to some more road trip videos again.
Yes, we're going to go again to Vancouver and San Francisco.
So we'll probably pick a different route this time, so something different from all of you. And Oliver gets to experience something different, so we get to see beautiful parts of the country.
Absolutely.
So maybe even a more northerly route, perhaps through Montana, that might be nice. Or
send us your ideas.
Or southerly routes through like the Southwest.
Oliver's it's not too hot.
Yeah, Oliver hasn't been to either of those, so we haven't decided yet exactly when, where, but yeah, we want to keep on making those retro videos. We like them, and we'll do something where Oliver gets to experience some new terrain, because he really reacted well, I think, to when we were in South Dakota. He really, in the Badlands, he really was really
He
interested.
loved that. Yeah.
You could tell he was so happy. He was like, "This is the explosion of sense here. The smells here is amazing."
Yes. So yeah, we're going to look forward to seeing the West Coast again. We know we have a lot of fans on the West Coast. Thank you so much for supporting us. And Oliver, maybe you'll get to see the ocean again. Yeah.
Oh, before we leave, there are a lot of questions I'm seeing now with people asking where we got our shirts from.
Oh, right. This was a gift. Someone gave me this. I don't know where it's from.
You can find this, though. It's a popular shirt. I've seen them at Beagle meetups. So just look over it on Amazon. This shirt is also from Amazon, so Beagle Security. And I think it wasn't that expensive. So yeah, just look for it on Amazon. Just look for Beagle t-shirt. And yeah,
maybe someday we'll have an Oliver t-shirt. We should probably do that too.
Yeah,
I know people have been asking for it, so we would love to do that for you guys, for Oliver's fans. We would have to come up with a motto for the shirt though. So write in the chat what you think the motto should be. Hey Oliver fans, or am waiting for toast. I think that would be a good one. Am waiting for toast. All right. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us for our third live stream. Please do check out the book if you haven't already. We are so proud of it. We are so happy that we can give it to you as this present, this gift. Yeah, this really came from our hearts. We're not expecting to make a lot of money on this book, but we wanted to do it because the story just came to us while we were lying in bed, and it just was such a special story about Oliver that we wanted to share it with you. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for this live stream as we celebrate Oliver's book. And yeah, take care, everyone. So,
all right. Oliver, do you want to say goodbye?
You want to say goodbye? Did you enjoy your third live stream? Did you like, you are now using Gatsby as a pillow. Okay, I think that means he likes Gatsby. So,
all right, Oliver.
We got to say goodbye. Well, we could leave him.
Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone so much for supporting us, and take care, and we will see you next time. And we'll definitely be posting lots of videos this summer to show you Oliver's birthday and his next trip out to the West Coast. So thank you everyone. Take care. Love you all. And bye for now.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for joining.